Today I am translating this version of the bow. The original tutorial was more this style with like a double chair bow on top of what I'm going to refer to as a parcel bow. So this is this one. Now, I have my dyspraxia, so this is one where you have to make half of it to the left, half of it to the right. I'm going to make both sides at once because I feel with my dyspraxia, especially with my left and right being very easily confused, this way makes it much easier for me because I can see the two different bits being made up at the same time. So I know I've done the one piece to the right and the one piece to the left. So if this is something that you struggle with yourself, this method will really help you because, like I said, a lot of the videos that I follow, they show it one after each other and it can be very confusing if you have those kind of issues yourself. So like I said, that's why I do it this way. So this is a version of the original tutorial, and I've swapped out the base bow because I think it looks prettier with this simple loop bow underneath instead. So I've swapped it out for this one, and this is my foil ribbon from Little Gems Ribbon and Resins, and the link is in the description below. So we're using 1.5 inch ribbon today, and we've got 4 times 32 centimeters for the main part of the bow, and then we've got 1 times 14 centimeters for the tail, and 65 centimeters for the simple loop bow on a 5-inch template. And I have already layered together my ribbon. So obviously that's purple, that's a lovely foiled ribbon from Little Gems, and then I've done pink on this side, so we've got the 2 different colours. Now you'll see with my pins, this side I've got one up, one down, and this one I've got this one up and this one down, and again this is to do with the left and right part of the make. Okay, so these are all 12 centimeters in from each side. So just show you. And my thumb's not directly in the way of the 12. So 12 centimeters that side, and 12 that side, and that's on both pieces. But the measurements will all be in the description below for you, so you know. What you do is you take this, where your pins are this side to here, bring them up like this. And then we take this pin this side and pin it in the centre, and then we do this the opposite direction, like so. I think I'm just gonna like that. So from straight to twisted, so that you've got one going in this direction and one going in that direction. And once you've got it in place, you pin it over like so, and then you can take this second pin that's now behind out, and you should have the 2 V shapes, and as you can see they're both the same length each side. Now for these, you always want the colour to go over first, and then your print to come down after, and then you can take this one out and you can use any sort of like clip you want to do it this way instead. And as I said, colour over first, over that pin, and then your plain becomes your coloured side. Take your pin out and you've got your clip. And as I said here, again, you've got your 2 pieces and your planes are both going that way. Your coloured sides are both coming this direction. So with your plain, the plain comes over, the colour comes up. So from here, plain down like this, so you get that triangle, and then we want to take this side up, and we're going to line them up so that the point here is there and the point there is there. Now in the tutorial she didn't add any glue, she just literally clipped it and just did a couple of stitches, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a layer of glue here just for extra security, because I feel like it will help with the shape of the bow a little bit more. So I'll just put that side. hold that down, and then I'm just going to do a line of glue. Not too much, we don't want to go overboard. And that's what that side piece will look like. And again, coloured side up in a triangle, your plain side over, and again you'll get the shape and it will be in the opposite direction to this one. I'm just going to check, make sure, yep. So this is what the backs will look like. And again, now that's in place, I'm just going to move my clip a little bit, and I'm going to glue this bit here and line it up properly. Just a little bit, just for that extra bit of security and to make sure it all lines up how I want it to. So I'm just going to get that there. And like I said, I'm just going to lift that up and put a little bit of glue just there. And again, just make sure that that is all nicely lined up, and this is what you will have on this side. So these are the backs of the, well, the front part of the bows, and this is what the back of the bows will look like, and this is why I call them parcel bows, because when we fold them in, it's like folding in a little parcel. So we take this bit and you bring that up 2 point, maybe clip, and this is what you'll get front. This is what the back looks like, and again we're hiding this, so we take this, fold that point up to there, front of the bow, get rid of my glue strings, back of the bow. This is what you'll get. These two pieces back, these two pieces as the front. Okay, before we go on to the sewing part, I'm going to make the base bow. And as you can see, doing it both sides at the same time, it makes it a lot less visually confusing for, like I said, those of you that really struggle with your left and your right. And if you've never heard of dyspraxia before, it's sort of a condition. It sort of falls in the same categories as dyslexia and dyscalculia, which is like dyslexia with numbers. It can also, dyspraxia can also be known as clumsy child syndrome. Your depth perception is often really bad, and you have little to no hand-eye coordination, well, not much hand-eye coordination, and your depth perception can be quite messed up. So like I said, I love my templates as well, because that's the other reason. They give me very clear stitch guides, because I naturally drift slightly off to the left. So the reason I use my templates a lot, which I use in nearly half my tutorials, is for that reason. So we're going to start our tail this side, and we want it just over the stitch guide, so we've got enough to stitch through this way, and hold that down with your thumb. Take it behind in a straight line, and I'll show you the back in a second, and bring that over. And what you want is you want this point here, this triangle shape, to be going through the centre of your stitch guide. And I take a couple of these clips here and clip that there and there, and then we bring this round just slightly over the straight back there, and then we want to bring that over, and if you've done it right, your cross triangle, this shape, should be right over the centre as well. Okay, so put that round. But before we finish wrapping that, what we're going to do is we're going to take the pink, well, the matching pink to this one, and we're going to take that just a little bit over our centre. Just knock that back into place. So we're going to make sure that that's at least 1 centimetre over our stitch guide, so we've got enough to stitch through. And we're going to wrap that round with the rest of the tail. I'm just going to move it a little bit more, and make sure it lines up with the original tail. There need it so it's over this bit. There we go. So you need it over that side enough that you can get it in place. And again, make sure your triangles are still in alignment. I'll sometimes take another clip this side and this side, just to hold everything in place. And then I've got my needle and thread, and we're going to go from above and we're going to do 8 stitches. I'm just going to move this down my template a little bit because I'm too high above my stitch guide there. I'll do it this way. So like I said, just a little bit over, straight round, triangles, clippity clip, just slightly over, hold that there, directly over the original ribbon. Wrap that over. There we go, that's better. So from above, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8th will be going back up through there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on the back you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and as you can see you've got 2 in each of your 1.5 inch ribbon bits. So we can take those out and pull our thread all the way along. I can slide this off our template now. Pop that out of the way. And then hold it in your fingers like this. And we can cinch together, and we've got 4 nice creases. So if you do 8 stitches, you'll get 4, 6 stitches equals 3, and so on. So it's whatever the amount of stitches you've got in the back will be the amount of creases that you should have on your bow. Okay, stitch that off in the back, and we're going to leave the tails until we've done the main bit of the bow, just so we can see which bit we need to cut off and have a nice amount visible. And I always do my tails a touch longer because you can always cut down, you can't add ribbon back in. So like I said, you can do yours a little bit shorter, you can use a little bit less ribbon, but like I said, I always do it a little bit longer just to make sure that, like I said, if I make a mistake, I've got enough room to cut down a bit further if I need to. And I do often make mistakes or don't curve it enough in the right direction and things like that. So this is the front of your bow, and this is what the back looks like. And then we're going to take our pieces and our needle and thread again, take clip away, and you can go from above or beneath, but you just need to make sure you're getting through all your triangle, all your layers, like so. And then I'm going to go back through there, and I'm going to take this side again from beneath. I'm going to go up. If it's quite tough, you can use your desk to give it a bit of force to go through. Try and make sure you're going quite near the tip as well though, so you can hide it with your 9mm. And then we're going to go back up again. Careful of tangles. Okay, so pull those nice and tight so your tips are lining up like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few stitches just over the centre, just to hold this in place, and I might put a touch of glue just for extra security. I do love this foil ribbon, but it is quite tough compared to some of the standard ones to get through. So yeah, basically just some anchor stitches across. Just untangle my thread. This one. Sorry, I'm still trying to get the tips lining up, as you can see. Let's go through again. The foil ribbon as well, this one that I've got, because it's a little bit thicker, it helps with the structure of these kind of bows. There we go. And then I'm just going to do a couple more just in the back, and then we'll stitch off however you normally like to. Like so. Well, we'll leave that on. And as you can see, they've just gone over just a little bit, which is fine because it still gives a nice balance to the bow. And you can either have the coloured corners at the top, or you can have the foiled corners at the top, or the coloured corners at the top. So it's entirely up to you which you personally prefer. I'm going to go with the foiled corners at the top. I'm going to take this extra thread, take my base bow, and I'm going to wrap those both together. You could use a touch of glue to do this, or glue the layers together. It's entirely up to you, whatever your personal choice is. I'm just going to move that a little bit so it's in the centre. There we go. Round a good couple of times, do it nice and tight so it's all well together, and then stitch off in the back. There's that one. And this is the look you will get at the moment. I'm going to use a slightly longer than normal clip. These are my 60mm 6cm ones. I'm going to put that on and I'm going to wrap the centre. Okay, place that on the back. My 9mm doesn't quite match the colours of my bow, but I'm going to show you a trick anyway. And if you have gone a little bit overboard on your stitches when you've been pulling it together, this will help cover up those stitches as well, the next thing I show you. So, wrap your 9mm as normal. Open that clip up. Round once. Make sure it's nice and squared. Open that back up. Round again, straight over the original. As you can see, not the right colour at all. But like I said, I've got nothing else that's closer at the moment. I'll probably have, but it's in the mess of my 9mm box, and it will take me about 15 hours to find the right match. So that's that bit, and I've got these two. I've got this one, or I've got this slightly paler one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the slightly paler 1 inch ribbon, and you need about about 3 inches. And what you do is you take them like this and do an S shape to the left, one end, and then you heat pinch that together in the blue clear bit of the flame. And then you take this side and you do your pinch the opposite direction. You sort of S shape to the right instead of to the left. and then again heat pinch that together and just use your fingers. Be careful because you will burn your fingers, and if you've done it right you'll have a dip this side and a dip that side. And then from one of the flat sides you want your glue here. There we go. Take this round the back of your clip and then twist it over like so, and then bring that back round, glue the flat side again and do it the lift that open, clip that there, and you've got a nice scrunchy middle. And if you've gone a bit too far with your stitches, that perfectly covers it as well. With your tails, work out how long you want them. So if that's a bit too long, you can cut them down a little bit, which I think I'm going to. So there we go. I'm going to do them so that they are about 4 centimeters from the bow. And then what I like to do is I'm going to curve this one this way slightly and heat seal that. And then I'm going to take this one the opposite direction like that, heat seal, and you get the tails in the 2 different ways. So there you go, there is your super cute parcel bow in the foiled ribbon. Super pretty bows. These colours are going to be sort of perfect for sort of spring and Easter or like rainbow themed bows. So like I said, links in the description for the suppliers and the measurements, and I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.